If you've had a birth experience that didn't feel empowering, you might wonder, why does this matter so much? Why does it hurt so much? Why can't I get over this? And it's because birth is not just a medical experience. You didn't just push out a baby in a medical environment. Birth is a transformation. It's a huge threshold for you as a human being. Even if no one handed you a torch or told you that this is a ceremony, something in your body and your soul knew this is one of life's greatest thresholds, like falling in love, like a death, like getting married. Becoming a mother and having a birth is a huge threshold to cross over. And it's a deeply embodied experience that changes you forever. Something within you was waiting to walk across fire and come out changed. And if it didn't feel sacred and holy and protected, if something made you feel powerless or unseen or scared, it can feel like something was stolen. We don't feel like we've failed because we're ungrateful or because we don't realize that some things are more important than our feelings. But listen, your feelings are important, and birth was designed to be transformative, wonderful, ecstatic even. We don't grieve things that are meaningless. Birth isn't just a medical event. Like sex, it's designed to bond us and transform us in a family relationship. At some deep level, we understand this. It's not just transactional. Birth is not just a means to an end. It's meant to be a revelation of life and love and of strength that we didn't even know we had. And when that moment didn't go the way we hoped, especially when it involves feeling violated or feeling powerless, it can leave a wound. That's not about ego, it's about intimacy and vulnerability. You're giving and receiving love in one of the most raw, exposed, and vulnerable ways. You wanted that to feel holy and connected and transformational. And if it didn't feel that way, it's okay to grieve that. The grief doesn't mean you failed. It means it mattered. You weren't wrong to hope for beauty. And the important thing here too is that you didn't necessarily miss out on that beauty. You can still tap into it and go back and process your experience in a way that you can experience that beauty. One of the most healing things we can do is to go back and pour love over our birth story. Not to sugarcoat it, but to treat it with reverence. I want you to have that kind of healing. The first step in healing is simple, but not always easy. It's letting go of blame. If you're carrying guilt over things that you didn't know, or blame for choices that you made, I want you to lay that burden down. Sometimes we need to forgive others too. A nurse who didn't listen, a provider who did something that you wish they didn't, a relative who dismissed your experience or said something that hurt, even a partner who didn't show up the way you needed them to on that day. Sometimes we even need to forgive our babies. That's hard to admit, but it's real. When birth leads to pain or depression or a physical trauma, it's possible to hold frustration or even resentment towards this little life that we love so much, and that deserves compassion too. Let yourself feel what needs to be felt. Grief, anger, confusion, sadness, they're all parts of the process. When those emotions are welcomed into safe spaces, healing can begin. So how do you find peace, even if parts of your birth didn't go the way you had hoped? You're going to have to hold two truths in your hands at the same time. That your birth was good and worthy of honor, and that you wish certain parts had gone differently. You remember that you showed up with love, that you gave everything that you had, that you brought a child into the world and into your family, and that's something that no one can ever take away from you. And that certain parts made you feel scared or unsafe, or like somebody violated your boundaries. There's a helpful idea called the gap and the gain. And what it means is that oftentimes we'll look at where we are or what really happened, and we'll see this gap between that and what we had hoped would happen or what we expected would happen or where we'd be right now. And we're sad about that gap. And what we do is we forget to look backwards to what we've gained and where we've grown. Both the gap and the gain matter. Yes, you do wish that you had been at a certain place and it didn't exactly happen. But also, you grew. You became more wise. You're a more compassionate human being now because of where you've gone and the journey that you did have. You've learned and you've grown, and maybe you'll use that to make your next birth more peaceful, or you can help other moms to have a more peaceful experience in their births. You can take that growth with you into the rest of your life as well. not just into another birth experience. Don't forget to celebrate what you've gained, because that can help make birth a foundation for what happens next in your life. Yes, it might hurt. It takes time to nurture a garden and get to a place where those painful parts aren't so painful, but I so badly want that beauty for you. Stay connected, and in the comments, tell me one thing you loved about your birth and one thing you wish you had known beforehand. I'd love to hear your heart, and remember, you did the best you could at the time, and that is enough. I'll see you in the next video.